Coming up in today's episode.
So we have found some street food. We are nice tasting and it is loud.
Tastes like bubblegum. 1, 2, 4. Aye! No.
Yeah. 4, 5.
Aye!
Then we went to Kelingking Beach, which I was super excited about. So this is basically the famous thing of Bali to do.
We're Quentin and Vianney.
Two guys trying to visit 40 countries before we turn 40.
We're taking the world on by trying to explore different countries, cultures, food, and by being as adventurous as possible.
We decided to film all of this for our future selves to look back on for one day when we are older. So let's go on a Kiwi travel adventure. Hi future Quentin!
And hi future Vianney!
And to all our friends and family watching, and today we are taking you to Bali! So we flew from the Doha International Airport, which was awesome to see. So many cool things to see there at the airport. Very international, absolutely awesome. And then we flew to Bali, which was a very long awaited trip, which we absolutely loved. And then, so basically the first thing is we arrived at 11 o'clock at night. This was a nightmare because basically our taxi driver didn't pitch up. We had to get another taxi driver. I think it was eventually about 12:30 at night. It was the Nyepi festival, so they basically had all the Oku statues and so on, which they were busy with, but we'll explain a bit about that later in the video. So yes, the next day it was basically silent day, where we could do absolutely nothing. And let's just say the past
24 hours.
basically has been
48 hours.
we're having some breakfast, sorry, we already ate it. It is now past 1, almost 2. We only got up at 12:30. Because when we arrived here, it was not as fun. Our taxi guy did not pitch up, even though they deducted the money. We had to book another guy who totally scammed us, and he knew it because there was a festival going on. So we paid way more than we should have, so that was also interesting. And we got here to our place, and so they double booked our room, so we did not get the room we were supposed to. We were supposed to stay in the bigger room, and I was silent there, so we can't do anything about it. We seriously couldn't do anything that day, so we had to stay in the hotel, so nobody is allowed to do anything on this day. There was no cell phone reception. Electricity was switched off on parts of the island because you are not allowed to do anything on silent day. You must just be silent, basically. So yeah, so on this day we then just at the hotel decided to try some local foods for our first day, which is nasi goreng, which is basically fried rice, and then mee goreng, which is basically fried noodle, and we also tried the local beer. So we are trying the local beer, like we do in every country. So let's see what this tastes like. Oh, better than all the other ones. Better than Chang in Thailand, better than Kilimanjaro. It is beer, but it's very soft. It's not a hard beer. It's very, very, very light. Definitely one of the best ones we've had so far.
The next day was our first official trip that we took to explore Bali, and we went to the Nusa Penida island. As we took our speedboat trip, you could have a beautiful glimpse of the volcano, the Mount Agung volcano. We arrived, we got our driver, and we took our very first trip to the very first beach that we're going to see for the day, which was the Diamond Beach. This was absolutely beautiful because the first thing that really blows your mind is the color of the beach, and that in contrast with the color of the sand. Everything was just so beautiful and turquoise, and then you have these beautiful white sands. It was so beautiful. We spent some time there, took some pictures, and we continued to
Atu Beach, which was just right next to it. So that was just a very quick look over at that beach. But then we went to Kelingking Beach, which I was super excited about. So this is basically the famous thing of Bali to do. There's two famous things things. The first one, which is this one, which is Kelingking Beach. It was super cool. There was a lot of people, yes, but obviously when we needed to take our photos, luckily there weren't too many people, so this was extremely beautiful. I'm so happy. Even when I look at the photos still today, I can't believe we were actually there. So that was absolutely awesome. And directly after that, we had some quick lunch, also some local food once again, and this was included into the trip, so we didn't even have to pay for this, which was absolutely awesome. Had some iced teas, which was super needed because it was extremely hot. So yes.
And then we headed to Broken Beach, which was another beautiful surprise because it was just absolutely amazing that there was this huge, beautiful hole filled with the beach and the sand, and this is the part where they normally had the stingrays that would swim.
Yes,
that's the one there. But it was just so absolutely amazing that on this same field you have these beautiful different islands, and Broken Island was just one of the ones that wowed us the most. And then just around the corner from that one, you had the Angel Billabong Beach, where most people would take a dip there. It also was quite beautiful to see, and again, the water and the rocks and just nature and the peacefulness of people being there and enjoying this natural environment was absolutely stunning.
So after this extremely cool day on Nusa Penida, we then headed back with the boat to the main island of Bali, and then we went to our first warung, which we were very excited about, and this was Murni's Warung. Now Murni's Warung is basically one of the first restaurants on Bali, on the entire island, which was super cool. You could also taste it in the food. It was so cool. I had nasi goreng once again. You just have to, because I wanted to try the different ones. Vianney had something completely different, which was beef rendang, which was actually recommended by the BBC as one of the best meals in the world, which was super cool also to see. And we also had some satay on coals, which they give you right there and then to keep it warm, which was such a cool experience. So that was an awesome first warung experience.
The next day, as we waited for our driver, we took some pictures of the local temples that were surrounding us where we were staying in Bali. And then we took our trip to the beautiful waterfalls. Now, this was a first for Quentin and I because we are not the adventurous types. So it was really exciting. We didn't know what to expect at all. One thing that is quite upsetting is the actual walk in the water there, because no one prepares you for that. We didn't have the proper shoes and it was just horrible getting there, but it was so worth it because the waterfalls, to physically be there, was just absolutely beautiful. The first waterfall we visited was called the Tukad Cepung Waterfall, and it was punging. It really was absolutely amazing. It was just wonderful to be with Mother Nature. And then if you just take 2 steps back, you would be greeted by the second waterfall, which doesn't have a name, but she was beautiful.
But yes, that was awesome. And then from there on, we went to something else which I was very excited about, which is the Penglipuran Village. Now, the Penglipuran Village is basically an old village from Bali that they kept exactly the way it is. So basically everything is made of bamboo because there's a bamboo forest right next to it, and all the houses, the roofs and everything's basically been kept exactly the way it was way back when. So it was just beautiful to walk through all of this, going to the main temple on the other side, and just you are actually able to walk into these people's houses, see how it works. Each and every single house has a temple, not only in this village, throughout the entire Bali, which is interesting to see. So yes, this was truly just a stunning day. And then from there on, we went to the coffee plantation, which we have sort of become actually coffee kind of people. Oddly enough, we never thought we would say that, but yes, we went to a coffee plantation. So they explained some things, how it works, how they make the coffee. So then they more specifically explained to you about the luwak coffee, which is the animal obviously they have there, and it basically eats the coffee beans and then it poos it out, and they use that to basically make the coffee. Now, we did taste that, and we had an awesome coffee tasting, which we loved. So it was a coffee and tea tasting, which was absolutely awesome. So now we are going to try the famous cappuccino. This is the luwak coffee made from the luwak poo. So here we go. Vianney is going first.
This is plain without sugar.
Apparently it tastes different. That's just a lot. It is extremely strong though. So this is also the most expensive coffee in the world. So yes, but we're going to add some coconut sugar to this. But it's definitely better, but I don't know, it's not for me. It's too strong. It's very, very, very strong. And then thereafter, we just had a quick lunch while we were overlooking this beautiful rice field. Again, just an awesome lunch. Their food in general is very good in Bali, I must say, especially for the value for money that you get out of that as well, and beautiful rice field views, which you get all over Bali. And then we went to
the Tirta Empul Temple. This was one of the main things that we wanted to visit in Bali, but we didn't expect the experience to be such a great highlight. After putting on our beautiful sarongs, we went into the temple, walked around, had a beautiful view of everything that's happening in the temple, and we saw people busy with different ceremonies, which was wonderful to finally see up close, because throughout our entire stay, from day one, there were always some form of offerings happening. It was, you could smell it in the air, you could see the offerings everywhere, which was very beautiful, and these things happen at regular intervals throughout the day. So we had an up close and personal view of this. Thereafter, we changed into our second sarongs to do the purification ceremony, which was soul altering. It really was wonderful to partake in a tradition and bring your own religion and belief system into it, because we went into it doing our Christian-based prayers and just praying from our heart to the Christian God, which was just absolutely amazing. And what was so wonderful is the fact that, like the Catholics, they had specific rituals and traditions that they do with their prayers, so it carries a lot of weight because you physically have to do something while praying, which just makes the process so much more beautiful. It was really something that we enjoyed, and we were really grateful for this opportunity, and again to our tour guide and driver, which helped us along and explained us how to do it, keeping in mind who we are and where we come from, which was just absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed it, and the waters were just so calming and moving and beautiful
and cold and refreshing. And then from there on, we just had a quick bite in the evening on our way to the Kecak Dance, which was super cool to see. So obviously we are theatre lovers, but this one was actually more special because they don't use music, they only use their voices and the word chak 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 basically the whole time. So it was basically this Hindu story that they are telling, which was super cool to see. It reminded me of David and Goliath, the story. Actually, it was very similar, which was quite interesting. But yeah, so they basically have these Indonesian dances that they do while these a bunch of men are basically just using their voices as part of the music. So, and then there was a guy at the end that was just doing the fire dance, which was, he was basically just running throughout the fire, and he was in a trance. Yes, so that was interesting to see.
But interesting fact about the performance that we saw is all the members are from the community. They're not professional performers. You had men playing female roles, and they were absolutely stunning. And all the proceeds that they get would go for the benefit of the community. Their specific temple in that community, they would build it up and upgrade it. And what's also very interesting is that these performances would tour throughout the community. So every evening it's at a different place, and it really was wonderful to see how normal everyday people keep theatre alive.
And then after that we had supper at our local warung, which was basically on the opposite side of our guest house where we were staying at, and this one was super cheap. The food was super nice. We had this awesome starter, then we had mains, we had dessert. This was truly just an awesome warung experience, and all of this food we had was less than 200 rand, which was absolutely incredible
for the both of us. And our next day was another big reason why we wanted to see Bali, because it was our day to go to the market. So in the morning we went to the Saraswati temple. Oh my lord, this is the one with the beautiful lotuses, and this was the very first time that I saw a lotus in real life, and it really was the most beautiful flower I've ever seen in my entire life. The temple really was just overwhelmingly beautiful. I think it was the first temple that they so used that really was like, oh wow, it's beautiful, where the other ones was a bit run down and old, but this one really had a more beautiful detail and character to it. Thereafter, on our way to the markets, we went to the Ubud Palace, and it's very run down, but it was very beautiful to see. But they don't use it at all anymore. They only use it again for performances, festivals, and all of those traditional ceremonies that they celebrate within Bali. But it was a lovely view. We made a stop at Temu Coffee to have some breakfast and some coffee drinks. Not wonderful, it was very strong coffee, but the food was quite interesting and really very good. Thereafter, we went to the market. The place was just in front of the markets. We went to the market, and it was an incredible market experience. This is what we love. We love doing it here in South Africa, and we just loved it there. And this is where I blew most of our money, but I have the best bargaining skills in the entire world, and I got us these amazing outfits. As you can see, these handcrafted by these local Balinese women, and my friend Lika gave us the most wonderful prices. 1, 2, 4. Ay! No.
Yeah. 4, 5.
Ay! 4.
Yeah. 40 more. 40. Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 4.
Okay.
4.
Okay.
No. Okay, 5. Let's go. It really was absolutely wonderful. I couldn't get enough of the items that they had, the images of Buddha that they had. I couldn't stop buying them. We have them everywhere. It was just so wonderful, and we just have a lot of stuff that we brought home with us, but it was just so beautiful to see the pride in the art that they do. It really is wonderful, and it was wonderful to see what it is that the people there keep themselves busy with in their free time. After our beautiful experience at the market, we took a trip to the most incredible dining resort that you can find, which is the Taman Dendari, and it is filled with the most poised female figures ever, and it was just beautiful seeing these giant statues, and dining there was also absolutely wonderful. We really had such a great time. Thereafter, we went back to Ubud, and we had a stop by this beautiful big statue that they have in all the different regions. Each region has a specific statue that they have. We took a picture there, and then we continued our trail down the market and tried some street food throughout the evening.
So we have found some street food, and it is almost like a pork bun, but bok pao, I think they call it. And we have the chicken one, and Bjarne is tasting, and it is loud. Yay, nay? It's good?
It's tastes like bubblegum.
Oh, that was a flop.
Yeah.
So the next day we went somewhere I was extremely excited about. So this is basically the second big thing that Bali is known for. So this is almost like the Eiffel Tower, if you will, of Bali. And this is the famous temple that you basically see everywhere, not only in Bali, in the world. If they advertise Bali, this is what they advertise. This was truly such a beautiful experience. So it's basically this temple that is put on this beautiful lake. Quick history about it is basically back in the day there was no water at all, and the local community had to pray for some water, and all of a sudden it rained and it was filled with water like you can see here, and then they built this temple in honor of the god of water. So that was truly beautiful to see. I absolutely loved being here. This was a beautiful start to the day, and I will never forget this experience. I took in every single moment of that. Directly thereafter we went to Handara Gate, which became a famous gate because of the gates of heaven, is what they call it as well. But this one is basically just an entrance to a golf resort. But yes, it just became famous for photos and videos, which is what we quickly did. Just a typical Bali thing to do. And then thereafter we went to the hidden view photo stop, which is basically a beautiful view of a lake and this dam there. So we literally went there for photos. It was also just a beautiful experience to see all of that. But then after we did all of this, it started raining, so we were on our way to our next big stop for the day. But first we just stopped at a Jatulwi restaurant, which is on the UNESCO World Heritage Site of the rice fields, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, we just quickly had a buffet lunch, which was truly amazing because we could eat as much nasi goreng and mee goreng and some satays like we wanted to. So all Indonesian food, so that was absolutely awesome. Absolutely loved it. And then the rain stopped like always. There weren't a lot of people like always for us, and then we went to the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Jatulwi and the rice terraces, which is what we bought these hats for specifically. That's literally what it was about. We bought this for the rice terraces. So yes, as you can see here, we literally walked around in the rice terraces with these hats. It was truly beautiful. These rice terraces, there's a reason it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's massive. It really is massive, but so beautiful to see. Such an awesome experience just walking on these rice fields. And yes, the rain that stopped as well. Just a truly Balinese experience, which was awesome. Directly after this, we went to Warung Bia Bia, and Vianney ordered us some very cool treats. It was all like these little bites of things of Indonesian food that you could basically try. It was so cool. Directly after that, we had the most incredible smoothie bowl, which was like an ice cream dessert kind of a smoothie bowl, which was also fantastic. Also, to end off that day, we had a quick foot massage before we also had some crepes as well to end off the day.
The next day we got up and we tried for the very first time the famous, infamous smoothie bowls. We had one yellow and one red. Red was with the dragon fruit, yellow was with the mango, and it really was impressive. It really was stunning. I can't wait to make it here locally at home. Thereafter, we took our ride to Uluwatu, and our first stop in Uluwatu was the third tallest statue in the world, which is the GWK. This statue is absolutely amazing. We went inside, we took a look at everything they have there, not much. We had a glimpse as well of the bird, the eagle, and the main deity in smaller scale, and it was really wonderful seeing them up close.
From there on, also in the park, there is a lot of the Ogu Ogus. Now, in the beginning of the video, we explained about the Ogu Ogus the day we arrived. So basically what they do is all over the island on our entire time during this trip, they have these Ogu Ogus. Now, these ones are actually the best ones from the island, so they had a competition. So all of the community members basically built these demons, basically, and then they had to parade them that evening while we were there. And then after that, they would burn them, but they didn't burn these because they were obviously the winners of the most beautiful ones. And then basically what happens is all the bad spirits go into these demons. They then burn them up, There were some other parts where you can see here that they did burn them throughout the island, and then basically the spirits go away, and that's why there's Silent Day, so that the spirits can go away and that they can't see any people, that they would think, okay, there's nobody left here, they have to move somewhere else, and then they move. But yeah, the detail on these ogus are absolutely incredible. It really is absolutely stunning. It was so cool to finally be able to see them up close, something that we literally saw throughout Bali as you drive around our entire time there. On all of the street corners you could see them, and for the first time we could actually see them up close, which was absolutely awesome.
Right after this, we went for a quick stop at the Uluwatu Temple, which was situated on this beautiful cliff at the beach, and it was impressive to see it. We didn't stay for too long because the monkeys at the Uluwatu Temple are very aggressive and they were violent at that specific time. They attacked 3 people in our time there, and we were also surprised by a huge anaconda. So we made our way out of there. Thereafter, we went to our hotel, which was absolutely beautiful. It was just stunning. It was what everyone sees when they look at images of Bali. And this place was called the Tempakan Heritage Hotel.
And then sadly it is our last day in Bali, so we just had quickly a quick breakfast at our hotel before we went to Karma Beach. Now Karma Beach is basically said to be the most beautiful beach on the island of Bali itself, which was truly beautiful to see. Not as easy to get to because there is a lift actually, but the lift didn't work, so we had to take all 366 steps down, which was worth it, but we had to take all of it back up again. But yes, the views are truly spectacular of Karma Beach. It's truly the white sand and the turquoise waters, truly beautiful. But yes, as this was our last day, we just chilled for the rest of the day at the hotel.
It was absolutely wonderful chilling out at the specific resort that we were at. We had the local pizza, we had some drinks, and we just spent time at the pool, and it really was an incredible send-off and a goodbye from us to Bali. Thereafter, we took a trip to the airport where we boarded our many and long hours to fly back. Going to Bali was really an incredible experience. Again, the culture was just absolutely wonderful. The people are friendly, helpful. The architecture was amazing. The art was amazing. The food was really wonderful. Not that filling, which is a good thing because you could have more and explore more. So it was just absolutely wonderful. And we really understood the eat, pray, love experience that most people go for.
So yes, in short, absolutely loved it. I definitely loved the culture. It was interesting to see the offerings that literally take place anywhere you can think of. It's in the streets where you walk, everywhere. That was awesome to see. There's a lot of traffic, make no mistake. I am glad, however, that we went now because you can see that Bali is over touristy and it's getting a lot of tourists, and I think it's going to become even worse. So I'm glad we did it now while it isn't too bad, even though it is bad already, but it's going to become a lot worse in terms of people, and I get why. So until next time, we will be going to 4 countries, which is Thailand,
Laos,
Vietnam, and Cambodia.
Next time on Kiwi Travel Adventures.
And we have finally arrived, and just look where we are.
And then we have this beautiful view of the clock tower, and the food was absolutely amazing.
The thing is the English, there's not a lot of English there. We needed to start using Google Translate actually to sort of see what was going on.